Keltec is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
We're gonna make the American dream real with chili pies and everything. Yeah. Whiskey River beef and chili pies. We'll fix the problem.
All right. Perfect. Y'all are fired. Let's get started. I feel like y'all ready to go. Look up, Prentice. All right, Leadheads. Welcome back to, what is this? The Talking Lead podcast. Come on, sons. Bunch of COVID-ridden mofos. Come on.
I thought you just had a sometimes disease moment and forgot your own show.
I do that. I do that sometimes. It was like, is this the AK corner? Wait, no, we already did the AK.
That's why I was like, are we on AK corner or Talking Lead?
You know what sucks is I didn't hit record, so we got to do that again. So stand by.
Oh, see? What did I tell you?
Yes, right, my sister's ass. Let's do it again.
I had the audio.
I can at least adjust my damn mic.
I had the audio recording, but all right. Take two. Let's do all that again. There we go. Now I hit the record button, so we're doing good now. So, and then I got to hit stop so it doesn't play again. I'm still learning all these buttons. So, Leadheads, welcome back to another action-packed, fun-filled, flavorful episode of the Talking Lead podcast. I am your host, Chef Lefty, for today. So, you will address me as Chef. All right, chefs?
Chef. Yes, chef.
Just because you can burn mac and cheese doesn't make you a chef, brother.
But it tastes delightful when I burn it. That's the key.
It's the char.
It's the char.
It's the char.
It's Pittsburgh style mac and cheese, baby.
Yeah, I didn't know you can get char on microwavable mac and cheese.
If it can be done, I can do it. Yes, sir. So welcome in, Leadheads. Appreciate you tuning in for another episode of the podcast. And joining me this episode, and as you who follow on social media know, and we talked about it a couple episodes back, we're doing a cooking episode. So we're going to talk recipes. We're going to talk different cuts of meat, all kinds of cool stuff. And hopefully you guys made some posts. I haven't looked, but I made a post, as I do normally, asking for your recipes and your whatnots. What are you pointing at? I think you can fix your camera to where it'll do the reverse, the mirror. So it should be like
there.
Yeah.
There.
So that voice you hear is none other than the lovable, the fun, the fluffy Ton Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's right there. Yeah.
Welcome in, Ton.
What's happening? Thank you, Chef Lefty.
Chef Ton. I couldn't think of a better person to have on this episode than Ton. And for those who follow Ton, you know that he's all about some food, mofos.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the food porn.
There you go. It's all about the taste. And then also joining us, of course, we're talking food, and we're going to be talking meat and beef, is none other than Whiskey River Beef's own Prentice Holt. Right over there. There he is. You can talk.
What's up, guys? Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk shop. Let's talk food.
Is that another new Whiskey River beef hat you've got on there?
It's a new Whiskey River beef hat. Yeah, I got this swag that's coming.
Dude, you gotta hook a brother up.
Let me grab mine. He sent me one.
There you go. Hey, show him, Tom. Yeah.
There's not a hat big enough to fit your big melon.
No. And Lefty's like, hey, how do you like the shirt I sent you? The one I've never gotten?
Well, they don't make
wait, you don't make them in your size.
Oh, speaking of, did Danny get in touch with you?
Of course not.
He hasn't got in touch with you? Okay.
No.
Never mind then.
Yeah. I had to fire our person that was making our T-shirts for Firebird Targets.
Hey, there's another jackwagon right there. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. That one's going underneath the bus.
Not Danny, but yes, Danny for not getting in touch with you.
That's why we just need to get a hold of Danny.
Yeah.
Bring Dano.
We'll do that after the show here. So. But yeah, we're going to be talking food. We're going to be talking recipes, wild game, beef, pork, chicken, raccoon, all kinds of stuff.
Possum, squirrel, we got it all, buddy.
I'm sure Ton's got a squirrel recipe tucked away.
Oh, I do. Tree squirrel is real nutty meat. It's really good.
Nutty meat.
It
squirrel and dumplings, buddy. This is what we do in the South.
Yeah.
That's that's what you like with your tube steaks. Nuts.
Oh, just wait. Just wait,
bro.
Oh,
just wait. It's coming. It's coming. But Leadheads, go support those that make this show possible. They probably don't like us talking about these nuts, but Mission First Tactical, go and check them out. They've got a new translucent magazine that's hit the market. I think it was a little sooner than they anticipated, but it dropped, and there's 4 different colors. There's white, yellow, red, blue, and smoky. A little smoky action going on. Smoky. Yeah, but go check out their website. It's up. They're there. And guess what? The code Leadhead works, and you can get 20% off if you're into the translucent mag craze. I guess there's a craze going on with translucent. I'm not on that bandwagon with the translucent stuff, but I mean, I could see where they add a little, that extra level of eye-popping coolness to your rifle if you're at the range, if you're looking for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Cool.
It's a fun little setup. It's something I wouldn't go run 24/7 because I just don't want people knowing what my round count is.
Oh, yeah.
But just like half the guns I have here, I still need to get one.
I'm still down with their traditional black mags that you can have cool shit printed on them. That's the ones that I'm loving.
I still carry those.
Just Prince knows he got him some Leadhead Brigade.
I do. I've got them locked and loaded.
And what's Ton got there? You got some U.S. Palm mags? That's a patch, isn't it?
Inside is the green mag, the green translucent mag.
Those the U.S. Palm Alien mags, they were exclusive to CMMG. Is that right?
Right there. That one, I've had this one for a long time. I didn't want to open it. It has the...
You nerd.
Hey.
You nerd. Yes. What are you collecting, comic books and action figures or something?
Yes, I have. Patch inside. And MK with my MK47, my mutant from CMMG.
Uh-huh.
Yep. That's where I got that one originally.
Yeah, I don't think you can get those anymore.
See, now it's a collector's item.
Exactly. I think that was the point. Yeah. And I don't even have one of those, so there you go. I didn't get one.
For a split second, Todd, I thought you were holding up one of those package deal pickles or something there. I'm glad you clarified that.
One of those big truck stop pickle things?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Gut bombs.
Yeah. The rough on the gut bomb.
Yeah, those truck stop pickles will jack you up.
Dude, those in the... Get that in a warm beer, go fishing, puke your guts out, you'll be good the rest of the trip.
Yeah, you want to stop and get you one of them economy packs of TP from Walmart.
Yeah. Is that John Wayne paper? Is that what y'all refer to? John Wayne paper? Won't take that shit off nobody.
On straight 80 grit.
I like that. But Mission First Tactical, check them out. They've got those new mags, and of course, all their other cool stuff that they got. You know, their drinky drink tumblers. They got different sizes on those. They've got their holsters. Obviously, you know, they're known for their holsters. They've got the new Pro Series out with that magnetic retention system. I've got mine in the other room right now, but I have been using mine, carrying mine with my Glock 19.
Woo-woo.
G19, baby. Somebody's got a hum on their mic. It went away now. Where was I at? Our sponsors of the Talking Lead podcast. Mission First. Use code LEADHEAD, 20% off. Seal One for all your gun cleaning and lubrication needs. Seal One and done. I was doing a little maintenance to some of my guns the other night, watching a little Red Dawn. I made a post to see if anybody could recognize the movie. I mean, it was a dead giveaway for those who are Red Dawn fans. It was during the Daryl execution scene. Damn it, Daryl, you went and told him. Bastard.
One of these days, I'm going to have to watch that movie.
What?
I still haven't seen it.
All right, you're gone. I don't know what happened to Ton. He just disappeared. We lost Ton.
Oh, gosh.
We lost Ton.
We've had this discussion. We've had this discussion even on the anniversary of Red Dawn. I still have not seen it.
I can't believe I still have you on the show. You gotta correct yourself, dude. Once you watch it, you're gonna be like, why in the hell have I not watched this sooner?
It's like a lot of the movies. Everybody say, "Oh, that was a great movie." I said, "Yeah, when I was a kid, I was out playing in the dirt with guns and making forts."
Yeah.
My dad would give us very small windows of time to watch TV. And it was usually the weather and the news.
I don't think I watched it when it first came out. It was, it's one of those cult things. It's timeless. It's good for any generation. It's cross-generational.
I want to try to watch it.
Not cross-dressing, cross-generational.
Between the endless amounts of Puppy Dog Pals and other cartoons that my kids are watching, I will try to make time to watch it.
Apparently, Prentice is watching Frozen. Is that the name of that movie? With Elsa? We're going to have a talk about what you're letting your boy watch, Prentice.
Oh, no. He's not watching it. No, absolutely not.
And then
both my boys have watched it.
And then, of course, Whiskey River Beef. We got a new code for you guys for the new 2024 year Whiskey River Beef. You can go and use the code. Is it Talking Lead 10?
Talking Lead 10.
Talking Lead 10. You're going to get 10% off anything at Whiskey River Beef. And congratulations to the winner. We announced the last episodes that we were all on together. We announced the winner of that gift card, Jerry Black. And you said that he went ahead and bought him a whole half.
He did. He purchased a half, so we're going to be providing him with that here pretty soon. So nice. Kudos to Jerry.
Holy crap! That guy's going to be happier than hell.
Yeah, so
he sure is.
So we want to hear from Jerry on his half cow experience there. What all he's going to cook up.
That's right.
But yeah, we're talking recipes today. So before we get into that, we've got some jack wagons that we want to take care of, and possibly a couple of heroes. So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jack Wagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
Gunny's my hero.
Choo, buckaroo.
There it is. So Prentice has a hum on his mic. We tried to work it out, but there's still a hum on his mic. So occasionally we're going to get this hum. So try to monitor yourself there, Prentice, and maybe mute yourself when you're not talking, and we'll minimize it as much as we can, because I don't think I can get that out in post. That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So jack wagons. We've got some jack wagons this week, and I'm going to kick it off with, and don't hate me for this, but and you'll understand where I'm going with this, is the Pomona American Legion. And that's Pomona. It's in California, in case you guys don't know. Pomona American Legion devastated by theft of World War II era rifles, prompting urgent calls for enhanced security. So, Pomona's American Legion Post 30 has fallen victim to relentless waves of burglaries, leaving the historic building in shambles and irreplaceable war memorabilia destroyed. The most recent, listen to the words, the most recent incident occurred on December 30th when 9 World War II era rifles used for ceremonies like the 21 gun salute were stolen. The theft adds to the extensive damage inflicted during a series of break-ins that have plagued the post since its closure during the COVID-19 pandemic. Javier Hinostroza, the commander of the American Legion Post, expressed the severity of the situation, highlighting the disappearance of ceremonial M1 Grands. Loaded with blanks, these rifles pose a safety concern as they can be modified to accommodate live ammunition. The theft was captured on security cameras, revealing at least one intruder jumping over a bar inside the building. Because they have alcohol at American Legion Post. And everybody and their mother knows that. I didn't know they had guns at American Legion Post, though. So that was news to me. It says, the Post has faced escalating challenges since closing its doors due to the pandemic. Transients, addicts, and thieves have taken over the property, leaving behind needles, condoms, and feces. That's shit. People are shitting.
That's Pomona.
Yeah. The burglaries began with minor incidents, but as the Post remained closed, criminals disabled alarms, ripped doors off hinges, and vandalized rooms that had hosted veterans for over a century. So the story goes on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's my thing. They had like little nibbles, little bites here of thefts and people trying to break in, and they didn't do anything about it. They knew that there was a risk there. So why didn't this Javier Koba, whatever his name is, Hinostroza, get all the valuable shit out, all the memorabilia, because they've ripped all the pictures that they had up, Vietnam era, World War II, World War I, all their historical memorabilia that they had there, stolen, gone, trashed, ruined, whatever it may be. I mean, if they're going to close it, fine, close it, but get all your valuable shit out of there because your security system's shit. Because
they just don't care. If you ever been to that area,
Pomona, I am proud to say Pomona, no, I have not.
Yeah. Pomona Raceway, it used to be a really nice spot for my family to go to and watch the drag races. And then they started letting all the trash just build up. It's California. The criminals make the rules. And lazy bastards like this guy that did not get his stuff out of the American Legion shows how much respect he has for that place. The place is a shithole. The place is just gang-ridden. And you can't leave a car out there for more than a couple of days without people busting the windows to steal a pack of gum out of the center of the console.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave your post unattended with firearms inside.
So this goes on, the story goes on. It says the incident reflects a broader trend affecting American Legion Post. This is certainly not the first time an American Legion Post has lost their Honor Color Guard weapons. U.S. Army veteran Eric Measles, M-E-A-S-L-E-S, Measles, who served in Korea and is a life member of Ronald Reagan Palisades Post 283, pointed out. In the year 2020, thieves targeted American Legion Post 289 in Riverside. I guess that's another California.
About an hour away from Pomona.
Glowing residence area, making off with approximately $30,000 worth of equipment. Similar incidents have been reported across the nation, including at American Post Legion Post 18, where a chainsaw, Glock pistol, 7 military rifles, and 2 custom doors valued at $1,000 each were stolen. So, what's wrong with you, American Legion? Why aren't you doing something about this? Why aren't you beefing up the security, or at least getting this shit out of there? Because people now know to target your ass because you've got guns, you've got weapons there, which I honestly didn't know that they store weapons at these places.
Back in the day, we used to do a lot of fundraisers to try to help build support and money for the American Legions all around, especially in Southern California.
Yeah.
Before all the trash moved in and migrated there. And it was amazing. There was a few posts that would go out of their way to make sure their security was updated, make sure the place looked clean, make sure they put money back into the post instead of just money back into the beer and liquor to sell it to the people, the patrons, for a discounted price. And it got frustrating because you'd go into some of these American Legions and the premise behind them is great, but it's the staff that it starts taking over and running them. They become these like micro cults where they think they're untouchable. They're the coolest person in their trailer park.
Right.
I mean, you'll see them.
And this isn't reflective of all American Legion posts by no means.
Oh, no.
I'm not putting this on all of them, but these in particular, where they are at high risk, like these are, and knowing, the community that's around them, what's going on, not having at least additional. I mean, they said they added additional cameras. What's a camera going to do? Camera's not going to stop
especially when he
anything.
doesn't want to pay to get them hooked up, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, the police response in California, I'm sure, is stellar.
It's Pomona. You call, you better start walking to the hospital. You'll make it there quicker.
Yeah, you just don't waste your time calling. Just head to the hospital.
No, because the criminal has more rights.
But it says that the Pomona Legion Post 30 now planning to sell the building due to financial constraints. The broader call for increased vigilance and security measures echoes across American Legion Post. Despite the challenges, American Legion Post 30 remains determined to relocate within the city, continuing its mission of serving veterans, which that's honorable, and I think they should do that, but they need to rethink their whole infrastructure as, what the building's going to serve a purpose for.
He probably left it there for a reason, so when it got robbed, he could have more insurance money to go rebuild.
Is that what it is, you think?
Probably. If you've seen some of these places, there's American Legions that really take care of themselves, take pride in everything they stand for.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the upkeep, the community support they have. And
well, they obviously don't have it in this area. This is one of those, like you said, very depressed areas of the country. And
it used to be a thriving spot. I mean, it used to be
they need
one
to
of the most
assess how
beautiful
many
spots.
vets they've got in that area first and see if it justifies putting one there, or if they could put it maybe a city over or a community over that's not as crime ridden. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a armchair quarterback right here, trying to quarterback a situation I have no firsthand knowledge about. But I mean, there are things that he could have done that if this was a rash, he could have got all that crap out of there. Maybe he set it up and, he's got it sitting at his house. Who knows?
If it's been closed since COVID, you have no excuses not to remove the war memorabilia. That's on you.
And the
That
firearms.
means you're a lazy piece of shit that should have got your ass in gear and protected what is valuable to this country and this nation and its history. But if you leave it behind to get it stolen by a bunch of lowlifes that are in your area that are there, it's on you.
It's pure laziness, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no excuses.
That's my jack wagon. So I've got Ton fired up. So, Ton, who's your jack wagon? And Prentice, I think you guys have a one in common here.
Fire away, Ton.
All right. Frito-Lay, get on that wagon because I am so tired of your crap. Let me tell you.
What's Frito-Lay
every time
done?
Okay, it's simple.
They make
You go
tasty
get
snacks.
Yes, and they ruin snacks.
Okay.
Totally.
How much bigger do you need to make the bag to put air in it? First off, seriously, you get this massive bag and the bottom
It's a quarter full. It's a quarter full.
If that anymore.
You got 2/3 air, 1/3 tasty snack.
Dude, it seems like when they put Common Core math in place, they forgot how to fill a bag. Seriously. I was like, not even half. You're all the way down to the bottom of this bag. You open up this huge bag. It's like looking in the bottom of an abyss. Hello. All right. Now let's say you get like a mixed bag. You get the chips, the pretzels, the
variety pack.
Candy, the variety pack.
Yeah.
Lay off the damn pretzels. You don't need 90% pretzels and like 3 chips. Here's your splash of chips. I was like,
but they tell you on the
God.
package, before you buy it, they tell you on the package, like, there's this many of this in here. There's this many of this in here. Don't buy it.
And,
Don't buy it.
And they really mess with you too, because they know that, okay, we're loaded up on pretzels because it's what we usually sell for dirt cheap just to get it off the shelf. But we know these 2 chips sell really well. So we're going to put it in this variety pack.
Oh, yeah, they fish you in.
It's 40 bags in here. 38 of them are pretzels. I was like, really, guys? Or you get the one big bag of mix, like the big bag of mix where you get like the Sun Chips, the Cheetos, and it has everything in there and pretzels. And you're like, okay, I'll just get a big bag of variety. And you're like, let me go for this.
Wait a minute.
You open it up and
wait a minute.
It's all, what's up?
It one bag of has all that mixed in with it?
Yes.
I've never seen those bags. So
Oh.
a single bag, like a bag of chips, but it's got pretzels, it's got Doritos, it's got Fritos.
Like Sun Chips. It has
all mixed
everything
together?
in one. Yeah.
I have never
But
seen
you crack that sucker open, 90% pretzels. What's your deal?
Yeah.
And you'll see people like, it's like, dude, you know we don't like them.
But
Very
you keep
small
eating.
percent.
It's filler.
Why are you doing this?
It's filler.
It is.
It's filler.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
filler.
people would quit buying it, guess what? They would quit offering it.
Well,
Selling
I
air.
didn't
They're selling
buy it.
air.
They sell
selling
air.
They
And
don't
then
sell chips. They sell air.
you go, I made some chili this weekend. And I was like, my kids are like, hey, let's get some chips and queso. So I get a big block of Velveeta, put it in the chili, and went and got a couple big bags of tortilla chips. And they moved that clear window down further and further on the bag. So the clear window looks full.
Uh-huh.
You grab the bag and you turn it upside down. You're looking back in the window upside down. You're like, hey, where's all the chips?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think
Are
that's
they
all chip.
really?
I think that's all chip manufacturers these days, because you go buy any of them, and
They're all that.
I just opened a bag of it was what's the cheddar flavor? Sour cream cheddar.
Oh, yeah.
Lay's.
Ruffle.
Ruffles, Lay's.
Yeah, so I opened a bag of those last night, and again, it was like one of the bigger bags, and you open it, and all of a sudden all the air goes
Emptiness.
out, and then it's 2/3 air.
Bag deflates.
It's 2/3 air, and it's like you've got, maybe 2 handfuls of chips, and that's it.
It'll piss you off. You're like, okay, so.
But if you get
we're
a bag
filling
of like tortilla chips or something like that, like Mission fills their bags with chips.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever got a Mission tortilla chip bag?
Yeah.
You're
That's-
actually
Full up.
getting product in that.
It overflows.
You do.
When you open the bag, the chips just start to come out.
Yeah, and those stay
Trying
just fresh, and they're not all crunched up, and they figured out some way not to have their chips all crunched when they're delivered.
And I'm really going on the Lay's kick because I was actually at the store while they were stocking the shelves, and the guy's great. He starts putting bags up there, and to fit more, he takes his hand in the center of the bag and starts smashing them onto the shelf. And all I could do is walk by, and I looked at him and I said, dick move, bro. And he just looks at me like, what? I said, you just smashed all those? He's well, I got to get them on the shelf.
He's like, dumbass, I'm turning you in.
I was like, oh, man. If this was Sparta, you'd be in a pile.
That's abuse. Total abuse. Not to
Food
mention
abuse.
when you get about halfway through the third of the chips that you got, then they break into crumbs, right? They pile all the crumbs at the bottom, put the big chips on top.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, I'm out.
it'll get you, man. Those people
Make chips whole again, damn it.
exactly.
But
it takes a special kind of stupid to ruin chips.
No, I get it. And you and I started this conversation. We were talking about the variety packs. You know, you go get a variety pack, and it's got Doritos, it's got flavor, Funyuns, it's got this and that. But again, the majority that they fill it with are the filler of the non-flavored Fritos or the pretzels or something that you less want or
this
don't even.
This
want.
is what's in there.
But they don't offer a variety pack with just the stuff you want. If they always throw in that one that nobody wants, it's like, why you even make it then if you gotta do that? Just quit making it.
Because what they probably did is wait until all the grocery stores kicked back all the stuff that wasn't selling, and they're like, you know what? We'll put it in a variety pack and make them buy this crap.
Yeah. And that's genius marketing on their part. I mean, it gets their product sold and pushed because people buy it. Because people still buy it. I don't know how many bags of, because I like chips, but I don't like plain chips. Won't touch them, won't eat them unless I got like a dip or something to put them in. But that's always left. Those yellow bags of the non-flavored Frito-Lay chips.
Plain.
I've got a whole drawer full of those plain original chips.
Original
that are probably 2 years old. I probably should just toss them, but
hey, I think they're flammable at some point.
I just can't throw food away. I don't know. Something.
Dude,
about
then use
food.
it as fire starter. That's kindling.
That's true. That shit will burn. It smells
It
good.
will. Doritos burn great.
Yeah.
Not that I know.
I wonder what they would. Wonder what would happen to a bag of Doritos with a Firebird target.
Ooh.
Maybe that's how you show your distaste for Frito-Lay. Is
light them up.
Take a variety pack out and put some Firebird targets on there.
Oh yeah,
that could be a Kablooey challenge.
That might be it, especially when you get the variety pack and they put regular Fritos in there, not the chili cheese ones that people actually want
or barbecue.
Yeah, but you know when you go to a picnic or a get together, a kid's party. Everybody goes for the chips, and the last ones left are the normal Lays and the Fritos.
And I love Fritos. And I love them in like chili. And we're going to talk about recipes with. I love a Frito chili cheese pie. Sonic has the Frito chili cheese pies, which I grew up on. I love those things, man. And
here
and you use the plain one, but if you use the chili flavor ones. Even better. And why don't they make the big scoops? The big Frito scoops flavored.
Yes. Dude, that'd be great.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I just sent you a link. This is the Chex Mix cheesy flavor. And it's supposed to have all this goodness in there. Has the little Cheez-Its. It has actual cheese flavored Chex Mix and these little unknown like bits that are amazing. Then pretzels, square pretzels, and they overload that with so much pretzels. You're like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I think we get
sort
the point.
That out.
I didn't get a link, but
it's in our chat. It's in our. I sent it in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay. I still don't know how to get that stuff. So, comments, man. Oh, private chat. There it is.
Private chat.
What is this? Albertsons? Is that a grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah, the Chex Mix is another one. The original Chex Mix that came out, and they had those little garlic toast thingies.
Oh, yeah.
That were the best. That's what made them.
I love those.
Oh, and then they came out. They were smart. They came out with just a bag of the garlic toast
yes,
and you could just get.
Then
those.
They ruined it by putting more freaking pretzels in.
And they went back to the pretzels.
They're killing me.
A good thing. I know it. All right, so any more jack wagons? I think people get the idea about Frito and they feel our pain. our snack pains.
Yeah, the snack pain's real right now.
Yeah, it is. And we're talking food this. I can't believe we don't have food right here in front of us. Of course, Ton does.
Yeah. Mm.
And what are you snacking on? Like
Okay.
off-brand Nilla wafers?
Because they were out of regular Nilla wafers, I had to get, what is this? Hill Country Fair.
I've never heard of Hill Country Fair. Is that a
But-
Albertsons brand?
I think it's a Kroger. Kroger or
Kroger has
Brookshire's.
Kroger's is, what is their off-brand? It's something else. That's not Kroger.
Yeah, Kroger. It's Kroger on the East Coast, and it's Smith's on the West Coast.
We got Kroger's here. We got Kroger. We got Publix. We've got
Prentice,
Walmart.
Yes.
are you a fan of seafood?
Love seafood. Yeah.
That's gross.
Love seafood.
That is so gross. No, Ton just opened up his mouth full of chewed
I knew it
Nilla.
was coming. I know it was coming.
Oh, that's so gross. All right, let's move on. So, any more jack wagons? We got any more jack wagons?
None today. Frito-Lay. That's it.
I can't give all my jack wagons away right now.
No,
Yeah.
no.
What about
Like
heroes? How about heroes? We got any heroes? Anybody come to mind? Anybody need
Yes,
any honoring? Who?
the people at the deli counter, they put up with the most bitchiest, whiniest Karens ever.
Oh,
Totally.
That meat's not sliced thin enough. That cheese isn't this. I sat there and listened to this poor guy get his ass handed to him by a Karen and her Ken.
her kin.
They were just whining, bitching. You could tell they're miserable people, just absolute miserable people. They had the perma-frown, long-faced scowl on their face.
Like somebody's holding a small turd under their nose.
Yeah. And they're just bitching about everything. And last night I was getting some salami cut up for my boy that he loves salami for breakfast. And I'm sitting there waiting, trying to be patient. And it's 15 minutes of them bitching about the thickness of the slices. Well, I thought it was going to be a little bit slightly thinner. It's not going to be that palatable. And she's complaining, and he's just
Palatable?
shaking his head. She is saying shit like this at a deli counter. And this poor guy is just taking it. And he's like,
I don't know
well,
how
let me
they
try to
do
fix
it at your deli, but when I go to the deli section, they test slice it and say, hey, is this? No. This? No. This? Yes. That right there is what I want. And then they'll go, and then they'll just give you those two slices that they just like, here, eat these, you know.
That's what he was doing. And she picked out like 4 types of meat she wanted.
She was just getting free meat is what she was doing.
And she was bitching the whole time. And her husband was standing there going, I agree. I agree. That's all he would say is, I agree. And I'm semi-patiently waiting my turn, as patient as I can be. And every time she would go to a different meat, he would slice. No, a little thinner. Slice. No, a little thinner. Slice. Oh, that's too thin. Let me see the other one more time. So he'd slice another one.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And after about 15, 20 minutes of this, I said, you two miserable bastards, can't you just wait till everybody else is done and come back and then ruin the rest of this dude's day? Because you guys are fucking idiots. And the guy and the lady behind me just started laughing.
Well, you got to call them out when they're doing that. That's
You know,
Is this the same store where the skinny jeans guy was?
Oh,
I think you need to change stores for one.
oh no, I go there for entertainment now.
Oh, that's strictly entertainment, no doubt.
So, her husband wanted to say something, but he was too frail and opaque to do anything. And she went to say something. I said, shh, just go. And I shushed her like 3 times in a row, and she got pissed off, left her cart, and walked. And the guy said, thank you, brother. They've been bugging the crap out of me. What can I do for you? I said, hey, put it on this. I need a half pound of salami. We're good. He cut it. He's like, want to check? I said, nope. Grabbed it, took off, left. And this lady had been like mid-60s. So, honey, you're so funny. As I'm walking.
Well, I mean, looking at you, nobody's going to turn around and start, questioning you for one.
No,
you
but
probably put
the guy at the meat counter.
They probably didn't even see you until you said something. They turn around, they're like, "Oh shit!"
Oh shit! Yeah, but I got to give it. We had this conversation about customer service.
Yeah,
this guy kept his composure the whole time. Never showed any frustration during the whole process. Just sure, let's keep going. Let's keep going. And young kid, probably not even 20 yet. And just took it on the chin the whole time and just smiled. I was like, no, that's a good kid. I like him.
Yeah. You don't get that these days in that generation.
No.
A lot of them won't take it. So
he's a rare breed.
Good for him. He is a hero. So he gets a ride on Lead Force One. So I got a public service announcement, just a PSA. So for you homeowners that are out there, check your homeowner's insurance. I think you're going to be surprised with the drastic increase in rates. It's ridiculous. So I got my notice, and it went up probably 200% from last year with no explanation, no reason. I don't have any claims, So I'm in the process of shopping homeowners, and I'm going to switch the auto and everything over too. But you got to do that. You got to shop ever so often and switch people just to show them that you're like, hey, just these arbitrary rate increases are ridiculous. And of course, insurance is based on socialism.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I mean, if you don't know that, you may not have a claim, you may never have had a claim, but all these rash of tornadoes that your neighbors have had in surrounding counties or areas, your rates will go up because of that. And
guaranteed.
Yeah. And even though you didn't have a claim, you hadn't had a claim for 10 years or more.
Because your neighbor put together their walls with duct tape and painted it with fancy paint, and then they claimed it was a perfect stick-built building built last year.
Yeah.
And it got blown over in a windstorm, your insurance rates went up.
Well, they're bucking the system. So if you got insurance, use it too. Take advantage of it. Use it because everybody else is, and you're going to end up paying more anyway. So there you go. Little pro tip from Lefty. Chef Lefty.
Whiskey River Beef, farm to table with a twist. Come along with us on a quest towards achieving self-sufficiency in food production and fostering a robust local food source to promote good health. Stock up with premium Tennessee beef, unparalleled in flavor and tenderness. You can be confident that you're receiving beef with no added growth hormones or implants. Always pasture-raised, locally USDA processed, and shipped straight to your home. Whiskey River Beef is grass and whiskey mash fed and finished, and is at least 14 days dry aged to enhance the tenderness and give you the most robust flavor imaginable. Go to whiskeyriverbeef.com today to order. Visit us on Instagram at Whiskey River Life and on Facebook at Whiskey River Beef LLC. Whiskey River Beef is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
All right, so let's get the train out of here. Let the Air Force One take off, and let's talk about recipes and beef, and wild game, and all this good, tasty stuff. So I've got this. Let's start off, and I found this at a yard sale, this book, and it got me going on this kick of just trying out these different kind of recipes and things. And it's called Dressing and Cooking Wild Game, and it's from the Hunting and Fishing Library. So apparently this was a whole series of books. And Prentice, we're going to have to mute you. There you go. But it has just all kinds of delectable recipes for wild game and anything you can think of. I mean, it's got raccoon recipes, it's got squirrel recipes, it's got pheasants, you name it. It's got them in here. And
It actually has a pheasant recipe?
Yeah, there's pheasant stuff in here. There's corning big game recipe. There's a big game mince meat recipe. Venison mince meat, which I've never had mince meat before. Have you?
It's ground beef.
But it's venison.
Yeah.
So it's using venison.
It's ground meat.
So it's got taco recipe, chorizo sausage, garlic sausage, venison breakfast sausage.
You know a lot about sausage.
Yeah, baby. Venison and beans, Texas-style venison chili, meatloaf, goulash. We were talking about goulash with your wife the other day.
Yes. And the different forms of goulash depending on what country you're from.
Yeah. Bear steak flambade. Have you ever done a flambade?
No, sir.
Spell that.
So a bear steak flambade. This hearty dish is good after outdoor winter activities. Served with mashed potatoes, homemade wheat bread, and colorful vegetables. It takes a 1/3 cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, 2 pounds bear round steak, and I'm sure you could substitute your meat with other meats, but this is the bear.
Spell that word you're saying.
F-L-A-M-A-D-E. Flambade. F-L-A-M-A-D-E. It's a 1/2 cup butter or margarine divided. You got 2 tablespoons olive oil or vegetable oil, 4 medium onions thinly sliced, 1.5 cups beer. There you go. 1/4 teaspoon dried marjoram leaves.
Majoram.
Majoram. There's no I in that. A 1/4 teaspoon dried thyme leaves and 1 bay leaf. So a lot of leaves in this.
Don't eat the bay leaf.
No.
1 bay leaf. And tell them why they don't eat the bay leaf, Prentice.
Well, it's a form of Montezuma's revenge if you really want to know the truth.
It's poison, yeah. Heat oven 325 degrees on a sheet of wax paper. Mix flour, salt, pepper. Dip steak in flour mixture, turning to coat. In large skillet, melt a 1/4 cup butter in oil over medium-low heat. Add steak. Brown on both sides over medium-high heat. Transfer meat and drippings to 3-quart casserole. Set aside. In the large skillet, melt remaining 1/4 cup butter over medium-low heat. Add onions, stirring to coat with butter. Cover. Cook until tender but not brown, about 10 minutes. Pour onions over steak in casserole. Add remaining ingredients. Cover. Bake until meat is tender, 2 to 2.5 hours. Discard bay leaf before serving. So there you go. They put that disclaimer in there because it's poison. Don't eat it.
Yep. It'll give you the shits.
I don't know why you put it in there to begin with. Why you want to? What's the bay leaf add, Chef?
Flavor.
Is it just a sense of excitement and intrigue? I don't know.
All that word flambade means is braised.
Is braised is what?
Yeah.
Just a fancy word for braised. A more fancier word for braised because braised is a fancy word too.
Beef stewed in beer seasoned with garlic served with boiled potatoes.
That sounds good. That sounds really good.
Yeah, it's just braised.
Yeah. So this is a great wild game recipe book. So I've been taking a couple out of there with my venison, trying some venison recipes out of there. But Tun's been cooking some beef lately. Over the holidays, he did a lot of cooking. Prentice hooked him up with some nice cuts of Whiskey River beef, whiskey mash fed, start to finish.
Oh, that brisket. I am still a little bit upset with my family and her friends over the brisket.
hurt your because they didn't save you any, right?
Yeah, Prentice was nice enough to send me that nice chunk of beef, and I got that thing all cooked up, did it low and slow. I think I ended up cooking it for right about 10 hours. Then I wrapped it in butcher paper, put it back in, finished it off. After about 2-3 hours, I put it in a ice chest to rest. Just a small ice chest to let it just everything to rest and settle and finish breaking down. Went to the Christmas get together with some of our friends. Put that brisket out, started slicing it. Just to taste it, I took a little piece of the corner bark, ate that thing. And you know what? I turned around as I'm cleaning up. It was gone. All the people had eaten it. The kids had destroyed it. They were happy. I was hungry. Oh, I think this is the rib.
This is the short ribs.
Oh, yeah. That didn't suck. No. I got that. I got a little bit of that. So I about lost a finger to the 4-year-old Levi. Jeez.
We'll come back to that one, but let's go to the other one.
That one with the all around the table.
Is this
right in the center?
Yeah.
Nope, right there in the center. Right there. Yep.
Okay. So talk about how you prepared.
What I did is I actually set it out and did a dry brine.
Okay.
I pat it dry, let it get to room temperature, put all my seasonings on it, put it back in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. And after 4 hours, I take it back out and immediately put it into the smoker because you want it to cook slow.
What temperature?
I think I had that one at 225 and I put it on the cool side of the smoker. So on the cool side, I was probably closer to 200. And look at that.
Gorgeous.
The juices.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Look at all those happy people there, and Ton's not one of them.
Nope, because I cleaned up the kitchen, turned around, and I said, is there any left? And that was the face I got. So I took a picture of their face. I set my probe in there on the grill. So when I know the grill's at 250 on the hot spot, I know I'll be between usually 200 to 225 on the cool spot.
Okay.
Butcher paper, not aluminum. God.
And talk about the benefits.
Explain why butcher paper, Ton, because this is a lot of questioning that I get when people want to smoke a brisket or they want to smoke meat per se. Explain to them why you use butcher paper, because a lot of people ask me, why don't you use aluminum foil? And I explain to them, but let's hear it from you.
Yeah, what I have noticed with foil, when you wrap something in foil, you get all the steam and everything stays inside. And that perfect bark you've worked your ass off to create is now slop, mud, and sauce that is just slid off the top. You've put that in there for a reason. You want that crust. You want that perfect bark. When you wrap it in butcher paper, it allows the steam and moisture to exit without, and still protect at the same time, protecting the layer. You don't need any more smoke flavor. When the second you wrap it, you no longer want smoke flavor. You still want to cook it though. You want it to break down and render all the fat and tissue inside. So wrapping it in butcher paper allows some of the steam out without getting it soggy. You can see how all the juice
at the bottom,
that's it escaping. When you do that in foil, it doesn't escape. It just sits there and turns into a humidifier and just turns it into a soggy, soupy mess, and there's no more perfect bark. You could take your finger and slide the whole thing off. It sloughs all the bark off. It ruins it. The whole purpose, the whole reason behind smoking something low and slow is to get that perfect bark.
And the juices itself and the flavor is not going to completely extract using butcher paper. It actually helps eliminate the process that you're talking about, which is losing the char or losing the crunch or the bite that you want, because the meat itself as a brisket, the longer you cook it or the slower you cook it, the tenderness and the moisture is going to remain in the meat, especially as it rests. What's on top is going to come back in, right? So you want that crisp when you cut into that on the outside, and then you want the tenderness and the flavor on the inside.
Yeah, and if I would have taken that and put it back in to finish off in foil, it would have caused this soupy. Literally, when you take a boil, let's do a seafood boil, and you'll see a bunch of people throw butter, shrimp, lamb. They'll put all kinds of meat and seafood all together inside this boil, wrap it in tin foil, and throw it on fire. It just steams everything in there. Now imagine doing that to your brisket. Then when you take it off the smoker and you put it inside a box or ice chest to rest and slowly come down, all that wet moisture just sitting there sliding all the flavor off the top, everything you worked for. Why work backwards?
Exactly.
It blows my mind. And it's like amateur hour. They're all, well, I grew up on the wrapping it in tinfoil. Well, you can build something wrong for 25 years. It doesn't make you an expert. Just saying.
If it's wrong, it's wrong, right?
Yep. Wrong is wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah, don't mess up a good cut of meat by wrapping it in aluminum foil.
Yeah, that reminds me of the people that say, man, nothing sets off a good ribeye like some ketchup.
Ketchup. Yeah.
Hey, if you need sauce on your steak, you don't need to be cooking steaks.
That's a swing and a miss. Yep.
Yeah. You're getting the wrong cut of steak. You're getting the wrong.
Yeah. If you see me order sauce, that means because someone screwed up. I'm totally. Like, I need to.
So talk about that, the rub that you put on it. What's your mixture on the rub that you put on that big old brisket?
Well, on that one, I always pat it dry. I let the meat sit out, and you can actually watch it start to sweat just a little bit. So I pat it dry, fresh ground black pepper, and Himalayan pink sea salt. I start out with, that is always my base layer. I don't put mustard, don't put any binding on the bottom. It's follow the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. You see all these people, nothing pisses me off more than a chef that's like, okay, we're going to get started on cooking a brisket. They lay out 700 ingredients with all these little bowls. No one's ever, I've already clicked off that video. I was like, okay, this dude's just sitting there for a timestamp so you can get him some monetization. I said, okay, idiot, we're done. No, salt and pepper, that's your base. Then whatever you want. I like the grill beef rub. So I set it up high. Don't sprinkle it down low. If you want perfect coverage, go 18 to 24 inches above the meat and let it sprinkle down. You get a nice even layer over the top. Flip it. Do the same on the bottom. Pat it in. Make sure you get the edges. So it's always salt and pepper is the base. Then whatever your favorite dry rub is, you can make your own. I got 2 kids and a wife I piss off on a daily basis. Someone's already done the work. There's 1,000 different barbecue rubs out there. I'm not going to go try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, this is my proprietary blend. Bullshit. You called up some factory and said, hey, can you stick my label on someone else's ingredients? That's all it is. You can go to any grocery store, pick up 7 different barbecue rubs. Oh, this one they added 2 grams of cumin. This one added celery salt, but it's all the same freaking base layer. That's all I did. I said, you know what? I like the way the ingredients in the Gorilla Grill's beef rub is. It tastes good.
Sure. You found your signature that you like, so
yep.
You just kind of enhance it with the salt and the pepper, and then you put that on it to kick it off a little bit.
Always base layer salt and pepper, and you add the pepper depending on the bite. How much pepper? 18 to 24 inches above. Sprinkle the barbecue rub, get a nice coating, flip it over, sprinkle it back on, get a nice coating till you get a nice even layer across the whole meat. That bark is the seasoning and everything cooking together.
what thickness of layer would you say? You just want the whole thing covered?
You don't want to go so thin that there's, this bite has seasoning, this bite doesn't. No, you want a nice, even coating.
And do you rub it at all, or you just sprinkle it?
I pat it. No, don't rub. If you rub, you're just making mess. Pat it in. You'll see me pat like, this spot's not sticking too well, so I'll pat the sides that have a little bit of moisture that's built up while I'm applying.
Yeah.
Or if I miss a spot, you'll see me just pick up some off the bottom tray, because I always have a tray on the bottom. God, that my wife will kill me for making messes. And I'll pat it in. Never rub. It's called a beef rub, but pat it. Once you start rubbing, you're smearing and you're going to get buildup. That's why you're sprinkling high to get coverage. Pat the ends. Make sure you get the sides, because people always miss the sides. Like, I covered the top and bottom. What about the sides?
Yeah.
Well, it'll slide off. Only if you wrap it in tinfoil, jerk.
Attention business owners. Are you ready to take your marketing game to the next level? Look no further than Black Tie Digital Marketing, the firearm-friendly, full-service agency that delivers results. We've worked with industry giants like Keltec, Spikes Tactical, and Armalite, and we even designed the kick-ass new logo at Talkin' Lead. At Black Tie, we blend creativity and data-driven strategies to ensure your message hits the mark every time. From high-end custom websites, graphic design, to inbound marketing campaigns, and everything in between, we've got you covered. Your success is our priority. Join the ranks of the industry's top players and give your business the boost it deserves. Experience the power of Black Tie today. Visit blacktiedigital.com or call 1-800-316-8030 to schedule your free consultation. That's Black Tie Digital Marketing, where firepower meets marketing power. Black Tie Digital Marketing is a proud sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast and the Leadhead Brigade.
And I think it's important to know, as you're going through this process, from start to finish, that the initial meat preparation starts with a room temperature cut. Okay. Your meat, as you talked about, patting it dry, which is obviously essential in that process, but your meat will absorb the spices better at room temperature while it sits there, and everything kind of coagulates in that cooking process. So much easier doing that at room temperature as well. So leaving your meat out set at room temperature is okay. And that's essential with your steaks. That's essential with your ribs. That's essential with any meat that you're going to smoke or cook. Never pull it straight out of the refrigerator or straight out of the freezer and throw it on. It's not going to cook as well. It's not going to cook as evenly. And that's really, really essential. When I talk to people about recipes or talk to people about things that I've done or things that have worked well, what hasn't worked well, what combinations we use when we cook for a big gathering or a big outing, it's essential that your meat is room temperature before you ever start anything. And
that you talked about the covering, the rub that you put over it, which is actually a pat because you don't rub it, like you said. I think you should come out with your own line, Ton, and call it the pat instead of a rub.
Yeah,
Ton Jones pat
seasoning.
Ton Jones pat.
Oh, God,
I think that would be good. But you went through several processes with this brisket that you did, where you put it in the smoker. Well, one, you covered it with your
where are you at?
Your seasoning.
All I see is Prentice.
Oh, I mean, you want to see me too? I was showing off Prentice's new Whiskey River beef hat there. So
yeah, I just wanted to see your nice hair.
You like my hair? It's a mess today.
Yeah.
How you like that?
That's awesome. Do. The lefty do.
That's my winter do. But you said you put it back in the fridge for several hours after you've seasoned
4
it.
hours.
For 4 hours.
Because I want the meat. For me, I like it. Not everybody does it the same way, but when I put the meat out to room temperature, it starts to relax. And then what I'll do is I'll put all the seasoning in, put it back in the fridge, and you'll see it tighten up and contract. And then I will take it back out and let it go back down to close to room temperature. Mm-hmm. Not all the way, but it'll sit out for a good hour, and you'll see it contract. You'll see it relax again, and that's when I'll do a final layer of seasoning just to make sure everything is absorbed. Just let the meat expand and contract a few times to get the most penetration of flavor possible. Then when it's just a few degrees off of room temperature, then I throw it on the smoker. Low and slow.
Low and slow. And for that one, it was what? How many pounds was that one that you had?
Oh, God, that was 9 pounds?
It was a little over, that one was a little over 9 pounds, yeah.
Yeah. And how long did you smoke that? And at what temperature?
I started
250?
I think no, the hot spot was 250. As soon as it got in there, I drop it down to 225. So the smoker on the cool spot will sit between 190 and 200.
Yeah. And that's unwrapped at this point. You've got just the
that's unwrapped.
Yeah, that's key.
Unwrapped.
Yeah, and I always do the fat side up because I want the fat to render down in. Just my personal preference.
Yeah.
I set that one at 2 a.m. I wrapped it at 10 a.m. No, it was about 1 a.m. I set it in there. At 10 a.m. I wrapped it in butcher paper. At noon, I pulled it and set it in the ice chest, and 4 o'clock we ate.
Now, as far, because people get different sizes of these, as far as time goes, are you just basing it on the temperature?
I actually follow the probe temp.
Yeah.
Because you can go by, there's guides out there that'll tell you, this much time per pound. Well, that doesn't take into effect your outside ambient temperature, your fuel source, how efficient, how well sealed your smoker is. And if you just follow the directions of some other dude on social media, you're going to screw up a very nice piece of meat. Pay attention to internal temps.
Yeah, that's people ask a lot of times, the purpose of what we do here at the Beef Company is we cut all of our briskets in half. And the purpose for that is because typically who's buying a brisket, most people don't want to fix a 15 to 18 pound brisket. So they might want to do a 5 to 9 pound brisket, right? So it gives you some diversification in terms of, how long you're going to cook, process at which you're going to cook, but everything, your equipment, your prep, outside temperature, like Ton said, everything is a variable in terms of how well you're going to cook this. So until you become a master, if that's what they call these guys, you can get a good handle on the process, but you really just have to roll with it. And temperature is key. Low and slow is key in any of these delicate meats, because there's a process in a brisket too. And Ton, you can attest to this, where it looks like this thing won't cook anymore. Right? Like these temperatures are going to sit flat for quite a while.
The stall.
This is going to throw some people off, but if you just trust the process and allow enough time, it will conquer, and it will get to the point where you go, okay, that's exactly what I was looking for. So even if it takes a little longer, maybe try one of these things without having a set time for everybody to eat until you've done 3 or 4 of these. Then you can kind of gauge your process, and you can kind of gauge your time. You know how your equipment's going to cook, because Ton smoker is going to cook significantly different than maybe one of my smokers. And that's just the process as a whole. So, get creative with it, but never rush it. That's the most important thing about a cut of meat like this, is never rush the process. Let it do its thing. Once you do that, the meat will turn out flawlessly.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest things for me to get over at a younger age. I've been cooking briskets for a long time now. I was probably 18, 19 when I first attempted it. The stall, that killed me the first time. I was like, I got to throw more wood on. It stalled. Nope, I ruined that brisket. I ruined it.
Deal.
Ruined it. I was like, okay, we're going to chop this sucker up and add some barbecue sauce because it was that bad.
That's where you get the ketchup.
Dog food.
Destroyed it.
That was ketchup worthy right there.
We know it was beyond ketchup. You had to get some Sweet Baby Ray's with teriyaki or something in there to cut the. Yeah, I did.
That's why they make.
I wasn't patient. Yeah, I wasn't patient. And that stall, your meat, a nice big chunk of meat will stall at a certain point, and then it'll kick in. You just have to be patient. And I wasn't.
And are you watching your temperature at this point? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, you
watching the temperature.
You always want to watch that internal temperature. Make sure that when you're smoking brisket, steaks, cuts of meat, the best thing you can buy is a very probable, good thermometer. If your system doesn't have one, make sure you have one that is very good. It may be expensive, but get something that you can monitor, because this is the difference between good, bad, and great. You will literally screw your meat up no matter what you're using and no matter what you're doing, no matter how good you are.
So give us an example of a good thermometer.
Well, I personally, and I don't get paid by these guys, but I use Meter, okay? And I use a Meter thermometer, MEATR or MEATER. Anyway, they're a great Bluetooth thermometer. They're probably one of the more precise ones that I found, that I can set it and forget it. But it attracts and points out ambient temperature, internal temperature. It's even got a nice little app that you can use that lets people, newbies that have never done this before, they can kind of track this process. They can select what they want to cook, what cut of beef, pork, chicken. I use it because it's dialed in within 1 or 2 degrees every time I cook. It works great. But again, find what you like. At the end of the day, there's one right there, and right in the middle. Find what you like and use it, but make sure that you run solely off of your temperature, and you always want to cook this low and slow. The lower and slower, the easier it is to work until you become really good at what you're doing, and then you can adjust your temperatures accordingly to how you like. But low and slow is the key.
Yeah, so this one that Prentice is talking about, it's called Meter. It's MEATER. They little play on words there. Smart. And it is a wireless smart meat thermometer. So you can sync this to your phone, and it works. It's good. It's accurate, Prentice? Works good?
Absolutely. I have 2. I bought a combo pack because a lot of times I will smoke 2 different meats at one time. And each cut that I do will require, different maintenance, maybe not different degrees, but different maintenance. And when I do that, I want to make sure that I'm adjusting accordingly and not overcooking something that doesn't need to be overcooked. So I have found them to be fabulous. They'll go all the way up to 500 or 600 degrees, which we never smoke at that. But if you're going to sear a piece of meat at the end of the day, you can do that. But I have found that they're very efficient. They are a little pricey, but they're very good, and I'll pay for quality.
Yeah,
damn straight.
So the one I'm showing here, this is just it's probably one that most of you guys have if you've got one. It's one of those little foldy thermometers that you can stick in. It does a digital readout on it. It's like, this one's like $12.48. These work good too.
They do. Ish. They do. The issue here is, and my point for mentioning something like Meter is, you've got to constantly check your temperature with the fold-up type. Right. Okay, so you're going to change the dynamic of your cooking style if you're constantly on your smoker to check. So until you get to the point that you're comfortable enough with your experience, maybe something like the Meter or something that has its own setup and panel and all that you can buy, those are probably going to be the best things for you to start out with until you get really comfortable. I have the fold-up $5-10 one that's really good, infrared, whatever. Yeah. I have those, but I don't use those when I'm cooking a delicate piece of meat. I want precision, and I want to be as precise as I possibly can.
If I'm cooking something in the oven or something like that, then that. But if I'm doing a smoker, then you're going to want something like this, because you want, like you said, when you're opening and closing that smoker, you're affecting the cooking dynamics.
Absolutely, 100%.
So this would make a great gift for somebody. So if you've got a chef in your family, get them a Meter. And Ton, that you were using something different. What were you using? You were like a car battery or something. I don't know. You're plugging yours in.
I have a few different setups, and it is actually from Meter. I sent you 2 links in the chat. There's the Meter 2 Plus, and then there's the Meter Block. But I also, because I have the system that it's hooked up to my Gorilla Grills, I have the probes that are in there that Bluetooth to my phone or my iPad. So I will set it up. Briskets are a big chunk of meat. There's a lot of area to cover. So what I do is I take on the Gorilla Grill, I put the probes in the front so I know what the front end of the brisket temp is. And then on the point or the flat, I turn around to the small side and I put the meter in so I know what the temperature is there, because I want to get it even cooked. So what I'll do is I'll always put the skinnier or the flat on the cooler side of the smoker. So I will put the meter in there and I'll put the probes from the Gorilla Grill in the other side. And so I can have 2 displays knowing the temp if I have to adjust or move or rotate the brisket depending on what the temperature is.
And Ton, that brings up a point about why we cut our briskets in half is for continuity, thickness across the board, right? So a lot of times when we cut them, we'll cut them with continuity involved so that you don't have to get a really thin side of one point and a thicker side of another that we see in some cuts. Now, sometimes we can't prevent that, but we try to do that so that it will even your cook throughout the process, so you don't have well done ends on one and mid rare on another.
When I threw your brisket in there, I was so happy and surprised. I was delighted. Oh, okay. I put the 1 probe on each end. I was like, I'm only having to run 2 probes. This is nice. Instead of 4 probes in a nice brisket, I just put 2 probes in, set the iPad up, put the phone on notifications from the meter, and I went to bed. And my phone and iPad go off. If it hits a certain temperature, everything rings. I was like, okay, perfect. Get up. As soon as everything starts alarming, I know it's time to either drop the temperature or wrap it, depending on how long it's been. So when I got that brisket, I was delighted. It is such a beautiful cut of meat. The marbling, the color, everything about it. You can grab the beef and just smell that beef, and you're like, that's happiness. You go to the store, you open it up, and you got the slime layer, and oh, look, they dyed it. That little tampon on the bottom that sucks up the juice is still full of dye. Squeeze. No, that's not blood. That's dye, y'all.
Tampon.
They're a real thing.
Yeah.
That's what's at the bottom of that styrofoam. Now, you can actually smell and see the difference in quality meat. So when I got that Whiskey River beef, I was like, my wife even said, you're not cooking that till Christmas. I said, shit.
So you can't have any. You're going to cook it for everybody else, and you can't have any.
I got the smallest section. It was literally I was like, look, this little piece of bark on the side. So I cut it off. This is good. And I started slicing for everybody, dishing everybody's food out, chopping up a little for the little kids. All right, put the plate down on the table, started cleaning. Turn around, gone. Whole thing gone. And I said, no, what? Everybody turn around, let me take a picture. Oh, that's so sweet. I said, I want a picture of all the jerks that just ate my food.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
They started laughing. So like, didn't you get any brisket?
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about you were talking about the cut there, and that, the cut of the brisket that you got and how even and all that was. So Prentice, talk about how you guys go about not only that, but just your steaks, and you go about your beef and your ground beef and everything.
So really, we have found that all of our steaks, we'll yield you the maximum amount of steaks based off our processing techniques with an 1.25 inch cut on your steaks. Some people have asked why we don't go thicker. Well, we're taking away from a variety of volume. number one, and number two, the ease of cooking a good steak tends to be a little bit better at that number. But the purpose for our processing, the way we process, is to ensure that, like in this brisket situation, if you're buying a portion of a cow that has a brisket to be delivered, we're giving you what is there that you can manage, okay, as part of that process. For instance, if you were to buy half a cow, your brisket's not going to be, an 18 or 19 pound brisket or 16 pound brisket. We're going to cut that in half, just like your steaks aren't going to be 1.5 inches or 2 inch thick. They're going to be at a much more reasonable thickness, so that the cooking process is a lot easier for you, whether you're smoking, you're grilling, or so forth and so on. So when you get into that process of the steaks, that helps us marginalize what you're getting, the weight that you're getting, and the cooking process as a whole. And the same thing goes for what we would call your roast and your slow cooking stuff. We keep those at average weights, marginal weights, and weights that you can work with, all the way down to our ground beef. We tried a couple of things in the beginning because we put out a great ground beef product, typically an 80-20, 85-15 mix, with that beef aging for a minimum of 14 days. It enhances a lot of the flavor, but we wanted to kick it up a notch here recently and try a little bit of something different, which has actually worked out really well. The customers are buying into this, and they're really finding the flavor profile of our premium ground beef is so much more enhanced now in whatever they're cooking, whether they're cooking soups, tacos, or minute steaks, or hamburgers, or whatever. And what we've done is we've mixed some of your favorite steak cuts in our ground beef process to create our premium blend, which is pretty magnificent. I can't tell you or share with you all the cuts that go into that, but I can say that that it's really, really, really good. But we really trying to take everything up a notch and create the best experience we can with our processing and the quality of our meat.
Very nice.
I want to see a picture of your Delmonico.
Interesting enough, those are probably one of the things we can't keep enough of, but I've got some that I think would be pretty fascinating. So I'll shoot you some shots over that stuff.
Oh, that thing, the Delmonico is just a beautiful cut of meat.
It really
cooked
is.
Right.
A lot of people take those Delmonicos for granted, but buddy, they're very nice. Very nice. That's why we started offering them this year more than we did last year in our processing piece. They seem to be a crowd favorite.
I bought a sear box I got a 1,500 degree sear box just for Delmonicos.
Yeah. And that's the only way to cook those. That's the only way to cook
it
them.
Is.
Now talk about, for our listeners who don't know what a Delmonico is, tell them explain a Delmonico cut.
Some people refer to it as almost like a tomahawk. It's rib. What's a ribeye?
You're muted.
Oh.
Son's muted. I mean, Prentice is muted. You muted yourself.
Sorry, I got muted. So, the Delmonico itself is somewhat of, they call it the same thing as a ribeye, but it's really not. It's just it's just a marbling effect of the portion of the ribeye. But the texture of it, depending on the thickness of it, can be very similar to a great strip steak. Strips are typically firm and pretty flavorful, pretty satisfying. But depending on the cooking process of the Delmonico, you can actually tenderize the meat or have a tender steak very much like a ribeye.
And they're usually in the larger portions. I think they're like 3/4 pound and up.
Most of ours typically stay at the 1.25 inch. It gives you pretty much a 3/4 plus. It's a bigger, wider steak versus a trim, narrow steak. So the marbling and the fat content and the marbling effect throughout that really, really gives you a real interesting cut. But, it doesn't have a large fat cap. And a lot of our meat doesn't have a tremendous amount of fat because our finishing and our feeding process prevents us from having all that bad stuff, but it gives it just enough, give it to give the flavor profile what it is, and give the tenderness what it is. So,
that's one of the few cuts I will only do salt and pepper on. A good fresh ground pepper, pink Himalayan sea salt. I'll get that sear box 1500 degrees and lay that sucker on. And you could watch the color change shift up and down, reaching the center. And it's not very long. Then you flip it over and hit it on a fresh spot of the sear box so you can get this reverse sear on the other side. And you can cook that whole thing in my box, it'll do a 1 pound, a pound to a pound and a half Delmonico in about 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't take long. But being cut so close, the Delmonico the specific term is that it's cut off the first 3 to 4 inches of the chuck.
Yeah.
But being that close to the end of the chuck, it just doesn't take long to prepare those. Now, full disclosure, you can grill these or smoke these any way you want to. Okay, you don't have to just sear them. There's a multitude of ways to cook these, but they are a fantastic cut of meat, and people do take them for granted because some people might say, well, they're as close to a chuck steak as they are to a ribeye. They're all different cuts of meat, and it's all in the preparation as well. But yeah, you can certainly get a very good flavorful steak.
We even take those and we'll take a big cast iron pan and you build a coal pile and turn your cast iron upside down as long as it's clean, set it over the top, butter and garlic it for a nice surface, salt and pepper that thing, open fire on the bottom side of a cast iron. And
yeah,
it's a game changer.
Put a drop of that on your forehead, your tongue will beat your brains out to get to it.
So we've got a lot of hunters that listen to the show. They like to go out and process their own meats, whether it's venison or you're talking or squirrel or rabbit or birds, pheasants. And me being less experienced with the processing side of that meat, I always take it to a meat processor. So I'll have somebody else process everything for me. But it's something that I'm wanting to get more into is being able to process and butcher my own meats when I kill them, or harvest them, whatever, however you want to say it. But this book, I found out, it even goes through the process of processing too. Not only deer, but it's got how to field dress squirrels and rabbits and the birds too, birds and small game.
Oh hell!
It's step by step. I don't know. I was trying to find the year on this book. It's an older book, but there's no like published date on it or anything. So, I mean, you don't really see that much anymore. But yeah, it's a good book. I found that this is a good book. Have you guys run across any good recipe books or maybe a website or something like that you like to go to? Is kind of your go-to?
Typically I'm a feel you out kind of guy. I mean, I have fallbacks that I go to all the time in our family cooking. I'm sure Ton does too, but
yeah,
I'm certainly not opposed to trying new things. If I'm in the mindset of wanting to create something different or get an idea about something, I'll typically YouTube it or Google it or hear it from somebody, and then I'll put my own twist on it to see if it's good or bad. And sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's not so great, but I don't have a direct go-to. But I just love all things meat. Just happens to be beef is the topic of today. But wild game, I mean, we do a lot of upland bird hunting, so we smoke a lot of that or fry some of that. Squirrel, rabbit.
Are
deer,
you field dressing and butchering your own birds too, processing them yourself?
A lot of yes and no. So a lot of times when we go on a hunt, typically our guide, as part of the process, has been that they'll field dress them for us right there.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been known to take our birds fresh and post up that afternoon and have a nice smoking or grill session or a nice meal after a hunt. But if we go on a traditional dove hunt or a deer hunt,
do you duck hunt?
I don't duck hunt a lot. Duck hunting is a little too cold for me. But the thing about duck that I do like, I mean, it's a very flavorful meat. But one of the things about duck that's caution on the err on the side of caution is you can mess up duck really, really quick because you have to prepare that at a mid rare max in terms of finishing your meat, because it can get bad real quick and get out of hand real quick. So I'm not specifically the best meat preparer when it comes to duck, but I have had some, and wow, it's really good.
People need to realize when you remove meat from a grill, it's still cooking. It doesn't just mean, oh, I pulled the steaks or the hamburgers or whatever you pulled off the grill. It still will sit there and cook for a few minutes. It doesn't just magically turn off like your gas stove.
That was the mistake I made in my early cooking days it's like I took it off at, the right amount of time, but then, you let it sit there for another 5-10 minutes and it continues to cook and it's past that perfection.
Let it rest.
Yeah.
Let it rest. Always. And the purpose of letting it rest is so it can continue to cook. And you don't want to do this while it's wrapped up, by the way. You're just asking for shoe leather at this point. But let it marinate in its own flavor. Let it rest so it will continue to cook. And I always recommend anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what cut you've got and what the process that you're either grilling or smoking. But it's going to cook, so you're going to want to pull it off a little bit early. And this is just trial and error too, based off of your experience. And one of my favorite meals to prepare, which is very simple, is I love a bacon weave wrapped beef tenderloin. So
I mean, you just said bacon, so that's
bacon weave wrapped tenderloin, and I'll cut those into fillets after it's complete. But part of that process of cooking that properly is ensuring that you allow that thing to sit long enough. But always pull it off early and make sure that we're not overcooking that, because that's a very delicate piece of meat as well.
Yeah.
But
introducing our new belly band holster. Whether you're hitting the gym or running a quick errand, our belly band is one of the most comfortable and safest ways to carry your firearm. The center section allows you to carry most common pistols. Left or right-handed, this has you covered. A hard laminate trigger shield protects the firearm's trigger from unwanted intrusion, giving you ease of mind while carrying every day. 2 elastic sleeves give you the flexibility to carry other everyday items, such as spare mags, flashlight, knife, or pepper spray. 2 zippered pockets run on both sides, offering the option to carry smaller items such as money, cards, or keys. Flush fit on your lower back or waist, easily keeping your setup discreet no matter how you choose to carry. Utilizing 3D spacer mesh, these channels allow for exceptional and efficient airflow, giving you maximum comfort and keeping you cool. Carry whenever you want, how you want, with our new belly band holster. Available now.
Another process that people overlook is the storage of your meat. When you get, you order that half cow from Prentice and put it in the freezer, there's there's proper ways that you want to store that also. So talk about how you guys go about preparing your meat for long-term storage.
So basically, all of our meat is flash frozen. Once it's vacuum sealed, processed and vacuum sealed, it's flash frozen. The purpose for that is to ensure that you keep 100% of, or the majority of your flavor profile over the longevity of your storage. It's not uncommon for people to buy a portion of a cow and utilize that portion throughout a year or even a little longer. Now, there's some people that will tell you and argue against the fact that you lose a lot of flavor profile after 12 months of storage, yada, yada, yada. I would tend to disagree with this, and I can only tend to disagree with this based off of one case study. I have eaten my own cuts over 12 months and have experienced zero loss in flavor profile based off of the way that I prepare my meat. So the idea here is if you buy a quarter or you buy a half or you buy an eighth or you buy a whole, don't get in a rush to have to run through this beef or think that your beef is going to go bad. Space it out based off of the time that you allocate to utilize this and use it accordingly. It's not uncommon for people to go 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 months with a whole beef or a half a beef or whatever that is. That will stay as long as your freezer is set to a 0 degree or even less, if your freezer will get there, okay, and you are storing that beef at that temperature, you're not going to lose that flavor profile based off of the flash frozenness that we start out with to where you are. Same thing with our shipping process. You know, when we ship from here, wherever we're shipping it out to, 9 times out of 10, your beef is still going to be frozen when you get it. And it's going to be rock hard. That's part of that flash frozen process. And you can stick it right back in the freezer. If it is sweating a little bit, it's okay. It's the internal pieces of that meat that you have to be concerned with, not necessarily it's sweating or whatever. But it just needs to be stored properly. You need to have it in a freezer that is actually a really good chest freezer or kitchen freezer that has a temperature setting where you can set this on the lowest temperature and just let it rest. It will be good.
There you go.
100% agree. Yeah. When you're packaging your meat, if you're processing yourself, remember air is your enemy.
You want to get the air out. Yeah, get the air out.
Yeah.
It's the killer of all meats before you ever get to eat it.
Yeah. And I've been in this debate many times with people that say, oh, you don't freeze it, it ruins the flavor profile. I said, how would you know? You're sitting there chewing down a Red Man plug and you have no taste buds left. I can taste the difference. Bring me the ketchup.
Bring me the ketchup. So
yeah,
there are different ways that you can store your, and you know, the beef and the wild game. I'm talking wild game particular here. If you use a plastic bag, you want to place a Ziploc plastic freezer bag in a cake pan, then arrange the pieces in the bag. The bag should lie on its side in the pan. Add water to completely cover the pieces of game. Squeeze out all the air and seal the top of the bag. Set the pan in the freezer. Butcher wrap the frozen bag with freezer paper. This keeps it from ripping or puncturing, which could open the meat to the freezer burn. You don't want freezer burn. You guys heard of that?
No.
Heard of that process before?
Yeah, that's a long way to go. That's a long road to hoe. You just get yourself.
That's one way to do it. But go ahead.
Yeah, because back before we could afford a good vacuum sealer, you'd go get the heavy-duty Ziploc bags, 5-gallon bucket, put your meat inside the bag, drop it down, seal it. Pushes out the air. You don't cake pan, wrap it in butcher paper. If you package it correctly, you're not going to puncture it in your fridge. If you're tossing shit in your freezer and having like a play date with your kids inside your freezer, something's going to break. The idea is before you put it in your freezer, make sure your packaging is dry, not dripping wet. Because the second you get little ice crystals and everything else and you're slamming shit around, there's a problem. The other problem you have with puncturing bags is, let's say you pick up a box of ice cream or whatever, the ice cream cones or something, and you toss the bag into your freezer with all your meat and you tear one of the little plastic bags, Ziploc, it's going to, now you got to, okay, either repackage it immediately or cook it. It's all about how well you take care of your stuff. If it's packaged correctly, air's removed, the vacuum seal is highly recommended. You can get them really cheap nowadays, under $50.
Yeah.
And
so in other words, the plastic wrap, you use the plastic wrap and you wrap your meat in that, in the plastic, do it 2 or 3 times, and then you do the butcher paper over that. And
that works.
That works good.
Yeah, there's
and I think going off of that too is, if somebody wants to tackle this process, by all means, tackle this process. There's a lot of time, tools, equipment, and everything that's needed to do it and do it properly. So I don't want to discourage anybody from doing it. It's not something that I do, but understand that there are tools and things out there to make it a lot easier. But if you don't have the funds or don't have the necessary means to get that now, look at the old school ways of doing this. And just, as Ton said, just keep it simple. It will work. It's just a matter of which you do it. And your storage, again, is truly, truly effective too. In all of our storage process, we use bins. And the bins are all categorized. They're all set up. Steaks and everything are laid in. They're not thrown in. They're all laid in. They're stacked in. We use very thick vacuum sealed bags to prevent any penetration or any scraping of any sort, just to ensure that we don't get the very things that Ton was just talking about. So we've been down this road before, and these are just things that we've learned from in that process.
Yeah. And then, there's a certain amount of time that you want to keep something frozen. And what's good about this book is it's got a little chart. And for the type of meat, the wrapping method, it tells you about the maximum storage time that you should be looking at. So for big game roast with a standard butchered wrap, 10 months is what they're saying.
That's about right, yeah.
Big game steaks, standard butcher wrap, 8 months. Big game ribs, foil wrap, 5 months. Big game organs, standard butcher wrap, 4 months. If you water pack them, 6 months. So you get a little extra storage time if you water pack them. And then it goes through. There's other cuts of upland birds, standard butcher wrap, 8 months. If you do a water pack, you can get a year out of it. So this is a great little book that I found. Actually, this was given to me by my sister-in-law. She found it at a yard sale. And I wish I could find the year on this. I don't know what the year is on it. There's no year in this book whatsoever. But it's called.
What's the book called?
It's called Dressing and Cooking Wild Game, the Hunting and Fishing Library. Special, let's see, text by somebody, recipes by Annette and Lois Bignami, Joan Cohn, Bill Joe Cross, George and Catherine Halazon, Teresa Marone, and Jim Schneider, who contributed all these tasty recipes here.
And just as a thought too, Chef Lefty.
Yes, Chef.
Anybody that has any questions or thoughts or concerns about new recipes or cooking techniques or cooking ideas, we're going to be adding a lot of that here very short to the website based off of things that's in our family or stuff that we've done over the years, or even if we haven't done it or even if we haven't posted it yet. If anybody has any questions, concerns, or whatever, reach out to us. I'm always anxious to hear what other people are doing, what they have to say, or if they're hung or they've got questions about things. Man, I'm always up for a challenge and certainly always up for some new ideas because I love to cook. I know Ton loves to cook. I know Lefty, you like to cook.
I do.
There's really no right way.
I'm getting better at it. I'm not the greatest, but I'm getting better at it. And Ton's giving me tons. That's what it takes. Literally tons.
Nobody's born a great chef. We all got to.
I don't know. I think my mom was. She's excellent. Nobody can cook better than my mom.
Mamas have a way of doing that.
Great recipes. But, speaking of questions and comments and all that, we made a post prior to this show. And, again, I apologize for the short notice on it, but the ones that have participated so far, they're going to be eligible for Prentice. What are we giving away today from Whiskey River Beef?
Well, you know what? Let's give away a little bit of something. How about a nice little steak pack for these guys?
Dan, let me go post a question real quick.
Yeah. we'll put together a little winner pack for somebody. Winner, WINNER. We'll include a little steak pack for you guys to try. Yeah, let's do.
Dude,
that.
Okay, I thought we were just doing. I thought
has
we were
a 5-star rating.
It's an excellent
that cooking
book.
That book you have has a 5-star rating.
Did you find it on Amazon?
I found it all over the internet. They actually have a newer, updated version.
Okay.
That was originally published 1999 release date, hardcover. Yeah, they got a few of them, and
nice.
It is really well done. She has a lot of wild game books.
Yeah, it's
wow.
Like I said, I'm very impressed with this, and I've tried a few of the recipes, and they've all been excellent so far. Even with me cooking them. So, but yeah, I thought we were going to give away like a hat or a shirt. So you have upped the game already.
Yeah. Let's throw a little snack pack.
Okay.
We'll do the apparel giveaway next go round.
Okay, we'll do that next go around. So we'll start off, and I'll just take the first one here. Flood Munitions. My favorite way to cook a steak is to sear it on buttered cast iron, 2 minutes each side, then place in the oven for a few more minutes and let sit on counter for 5 to 8 minutes. Now I'm hungry. What's your favorite way to cook a steak, Ton? Let's say a ribeye. Let's go with ribeye.
Ribeye?
Yeah, let's go with the ribeye. Because different cuts, you want to cut them different ways sometimes.
Ribeye, I like to throw in the sear box. It's really quick. Don't like the meat to get too hot. I prefer more on the rare side. I want to taste what I'm eating. It's almost what they call black and blue or Pittsburgh style, heavy peppercorn.
That's the way I
light
like
salt, and enjoy the flavor.
Yeah.
It's
juicy.
Yeah. Sometimes if you add too much butter and too much garlic, butter's not so bad. Garlic you can actually overpower a meat with too much garlic. You can ruin the flavor really quick with garlic.
Yep.
I haven't yet, but I'll take your word for it. Pacific Northwesterner. I like using homemade peanut sauce on everything. Everything? It's easy to make too. Take a tablespoon or 2 of peanut butter and put it in a bowl. Is there a certain brand of peanut butter? Because all peanut butter wasn't created equal, Ton.
No, it's not.
No.
Add about 3 ounces of warm water and stir until the peanut butter has a consistency like paste. Now add a ½ ounce soy sauce, ½ ounce sesame oil, and sriracha to taste. Mix these all together very well. Now you're done, but you can add things like chopped peanuts and cilantro if you're extra fancy. Have you ever
this
made
adds a little bit of Asian zing to it. I like that.
Yeah, a little peanut sauce. You ever been to what's that restaurant that has the lettuce wraps?
Yeah.
You know,
well, there's a lot of those restaurants around here.
Yeah, but the original one. Who was that? I can't remember the name of that restaurant. It was an Asian restaurant. They got one in Franklin. They used to anyway.
Yeah.
But they had a little peanut sauce that was really good. I'm not big into peanut butter other than on a sandwich. I don't like peanut butter flavored like cookies or stuff like that, but I do love peanut butter just like on a sandwich. And I'm not real big on the peanut sauce, but that sounds pretty good. I think I would probably put that on. What kind of cut would you put that on? Would you put peanut sauce on any cut of beef?
You can always try something on the tri-tip side or something on something a little bit leaner. I have seen some of that in the past. I haven't tried it, but I've seen some of it in the past. So you can try that.
Actually, I do know when people are cooking like a beef tataki style, I have seen them use the peanut paste because you're already frying. It's a quick sear in peanut oil, sesame seed oil, ginger, lemon juice, scallions, and
sounds
really,
Asian to
really
me.
hot, really, really quick. You meant to have a fried outside, raw center, and then I've seen them use the peanut paste with that. It's the beef tataki.
And what's tataki?
Dude, I can barely speak English.
Tataki.
All I know,
That sounds Asian
all
to
I
me.
know is it's a really thin slice of beef it's fried. It's in a pan of oil.
Yeah.
And it's less than a minute, and you flip it so it's cooked all around the outside, and the center is rare. Then when you slice it, you put it in a bath with same thing: sesame seed oil, peanut oil, ginger, lime juice, and it's cured or kind of like cured inside the juice, like almost a bath.
Yeah.
And then they will
Just soak
add
it.
the peanut paste to it.
Just soak it. Okay.
It is freaking delicious. I got pictures on my Instagram.
Esom
A lot of
87 has go ahead, Prentice. Go next.
No, I was going to say just to top the tataki is like a lot of times people use a round or a fillet in that, and they cut it really thin. It's a Japanese style of cooking, almost like a hot pot style of cooking per se. So that's where the peanut sauce, or that's where that style of sauce would come into play.
Yeah.
Whether it's ponzu sauce or whether it's peanut sauce or whatever. But typically it's just dropped in for a minute or two. It's flip-flopped around. Then you just pull it out of the pot and eat fresh. And typically it's going to be either rare, mid-rare, but it's going to have a little bit of a crisp on the outside. But they typically slice it really, really thin to be able to cook it that fast. And then, because when you cook it, you want to eat it. I mean, it's good stuff.
It's good.
Good stuff. So when I posted this, I asked for your recipes or if you had any like cooking hacks or anything like that, shortcuts, kind of things like that. Pew Pew RN says, my favorite hack is to let others do the cooking. LOL. All right. That was a good
Can't say I disagree, but hey.
Yeah. Ton Jones Official says, what size shirts do you have, Prentice, for at Whiskey River Life?
We got them from everything from a 60 small to however big you want to go, buddy.
Perfect.
You got a 4X in there?
Absolutely, we do.
Yes.
Fit a cow. All right. Esom 87's got a couple here. He says, my favorite way to do a ribeye is to smoke it at 225 for 1 hour, then sear on a screaming hot skillet for 60 seconds per side. Perfect medium rare every time. Season it before the smoke however you like.
My man. Yes. Smoking a ribeye.
Oh,
Smoking a
man.
pancake.
Ways to cook a ribeye.
Smoking a pancake. And then he says for prime rib, I take 20-pound prime rib, cut the bone off, cover with horseradish, mustard, coat in kosher salt and Kinder's brand prime rib rub, tie the bones back, smoke at 225 for 5 hours, pull it off, cut the ribs off, let it rest for 30 minutes. While resting, turn smoker temp as high as it'll go, 450-ish. After 30 minutes, rest, place the roast and bones back on the smoker separately for 15 minutes. This gives it the sear. Come out perfect every time.
I have seen that YouTube video and it's on Pinterest. That has been around. People have been sending me that video of that chef doing that for about 7 years now.
And you haven't tried
It's
it?
not a bad way. It's not a bad way.
No, it's not a bad way. I don't like removing the bone from the meat.
A lot of work.
That's you've just killed the purpose behind it. And I first saw that video of them doing that. They're like, oh, cut the bone off, then pack all your herbs in between, then tie it back on.
Yeah. I don't think I like anybody well enough to do that much work.
That's a lot of skilled work
It
for
is.
a piece of meat.
Yeah.
It really, really is. But it's if you have the time.
Well,
knock
you
it
saw
out.
you saw my rib roast, the one I posted. That all the flavor in the world. If you cook it right, you don't need to remove the bone and put it back on.
No.
Yeah, the bone
I mean,
gives it some character.
It gives it the flavor, a lot of the flavor, and it goes back to the recipes. If you're making your recipe complicated to act like you're a chef, be a chef in your own mind. Leave everybody else alone. You don't need 700 ingredients to make a flat iron steak taste good.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just don't get it sometimes.
So what about some hacks? Maybe some shortcuts or cooking hacks, maybe, sauce wise, making a flavorful sauce or something along those lines. What do you guys have?
Really, one of my favorite hacks, and people are going to crucify me on this one, is a sous vide.
Oh, sous vide's not a hack. That's just awesome.
Oh,
that's awesome.
People get so pissed because I can set the water temperature, vacuum seal it, drop it in, let the steak get to exactly the temperature I want and hold it there for as long as I want. So I know it's breaking down perfectly. Break out that sear box, 10, 15 seconds. It's at 1500 degrees, pull it out. It's ready to serve. I can start it from my phone while I'm at work and know when I get home, all I got to do is slice open that package.
Yeah.
Bam, sear, and we're ready to eat.
It's become a really, really unique way of preparing steaks, but I don't hate it. I don't do it a lot, but I don't hate it. I actually like it a lot.
It is.
We had some when we went to the Iraq vet shoot. We stayed at this guy's cabin, and he had a sous vide, and we sous vide the steaks, and man, they were so tender and delicious.
It is. And here's the hack.
But we sous vide it, and then we smoked them. Put them on the smoker after we sous vide it.
To take a little flavor in.
Yeah.
Here's a fun thing if you have a sous vide. Take your chili, make your chili the standard way everybody always does. Put it in vacuum sealed bags, vacuum seal it. And you could store it for as long as you want, or you just take it, and when we're ready to eat, I'll drop it in the sous vide and warm it up and cook it in there. It breaks it down to that perfect, like chili dog, the little itty bitty bits that you like, and it's a different texture of chili, and it makes all the flavors meld together. Perfect.
That would be good. I'd try that.
Oh,
the great thing about the sous vide is,
and let the record state, chili in Texas does not have beans, folks.
No, that's bean stew. There's no Yankee nuggets in it.
But chili everywhere else around the world has beans. But
Guess
Texas,
what? Guess what? That's not chili.
That's Yankee nuggets. You don't put Yankee nuggets in chili.
That's right. That is chili. I do it both ways. I do Texas style, and then I'll do Tennessee style.
Yankee nuggets.
I always grew up, chili's had beans, beans and beef and
bean stew
and whatever. But
bean stew.
The thing about the sous vide is that you can't overcook a steak with a sous vide. It stays the exact same temperature, it'll hold that temperature. So you can leave it in there. You can go, oh shit, I forgot about my steak in the sous vide. It's not going to overcook it. It's going to keep
It took me, I actually did a test because I was bored as hell. I put in a steak and I let it sous vide for 48 hours.
No way.
Wow.
And I was like, it was a half-pound steak.
You're like, this thing's going to be rubber.
I picked up the whole thing. I could just pull apart with my fingers. I was like, oh, because I did sear it afterwards, throw it in the sear box.
Yeah.
It was so tender and melt apart. It was almost weird because you could have gummed it and still digested it. It was so tender. It will render and break down everything. Just a heads up.
My favorite way to cook Yardbird is in a crock pot. Chicken has never been so tender than when you cook it in a crock pot. That's my go-to way to cook chicken nowadays, is put it in a crock pot.
And do you have a crock pot condom?
Nothing worse than a dry chicken breast or a dry turkey breast, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've done it about 10 times now, and it's come out, and I've used different brands of chicken and different cuts of chicken, and they all come out perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the crock pot condoms. You put it in there so you don't ever have to clean it up so I don't get yelled at.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah. Mine's got a coating on it that doesn't, it's like a non-stick, it's like ceramic. I don't know.
That's still too much work.
It doesn't.
This is a crock pot condom. You put the bag in, put all your stuff in, cover the lid, cook it. When you're done, dump it out, throw it in the trash. Your crock pot's still clean.
Amen, brother.
There you go. What about any other hacks, cooking hacks that you guys have? Maybe a tool or utensil that makes your life a lot easier.
Electric salt and pepper grinders.
Amen, brother.
Seriously, there's rechargeable electric salt and pepper grinders for $30 on Amazon. I can be prepping, cooking, pick it up, hit the button. Oh, yeah.
How many of these did you get for Christmas this year? Take those Christmas Amazon cards and up your chef game. Get you one of those. What's the thermometer? The meters. Get you a meter.
Yes, meter.
Get you an electric pepper salt grinder.
Salt and pepper grinder. They're rechargeable, and it's the bit you could set your grind, hit the button. So I have one for salt, one for pepper, one for dried onions. I have one for garlic.
I'm getting one of those as soon as we get off here.
It is amazing.
Yeah. That's
life is easy.
That's on my shop list right there, definitely. I love that.
And this random actual thing I picked up from the kids' school. Give the kids come home with these little pamphlets. Buy this, buy this.
Uh-huh.
It is a stand you set on your butcher block or on the counter, and you clip in your Ziploc bag or your food sealer bag, and it holds your bag open and upright while you fill it.
Huh.
It is the most amazing thing.
What's it called?
It was like, let me see. I bought it off the kids on their thing. Let's see. Of course, I probably way overpaid because it was a school fundraiser.
Probably. But hey, it went to a good cause.
No.
At least it wasn't for the Pomona American Legion.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is. Ziploc bag holder. The baggy rack.
The baggy rack.
Baggy rack.
Here, I am sending you.
Send the link. I'll pull that up.
Copy. This is amazing. They're all over Amazon. Damn, I overpaid. I paid that much for one.
Let's see. God. Share screen.
They screw you in the drive-thru.
Wow. Baggy rack holder for food prep bag, plastic freezer bag, Ziploc. This is a 4-pack for $10.
Yep.
4-pack for $10.
It is a game changer. Hold your Ziploc bags, hold your food sealer bags. Instead of trying to one-hand it, nope. Clip that sucker on. My wife laughs because I use that all the damn time.
Will it do different size bags?
Oh yeah, the arms extend.
Oh, so
sandwich bag all the way to a gallon.
So you see these little packs. This is a hack. This is a cheat right here. So like for your marinades, or you want to put a rub on your steaks. A lot of times I'll just get these pre-made like Grill Mates or even soup mix. Those French onion soup mixes that you can
use for everything.
I use that French onion soup mix for everything too. I put that on just about everything. That stuff's so good. I'll get like just a thing of sour cream, and I'll put that mix in there, and I'll make my own French onion dip. And it's a lot better than you can get those pre-made ones.
Oh, hell yeah.
So much more flavor in that. But yeah, I'll put it on. I'll do rubs and stuff with it too. Like the chicken that I've been telling you, I've been using that. But there's different flavors. There's like a vegetable one that you can get. There's the French onion. There's the mushroom soup. And they're inexpensive. You get the off-brand, and they're like, you get them for like 79 cents. Get a pack of like 3 of them or something. Very inexpensive, but it definitely will add a kick to whatever you're cooking.
And my wife laughs. I'll go in there and I'll hit the seasoning aisle and pick up random packs. Like, oh, this is on sale.
Yeah.
Get a couple things of chili mix, get a couple things of soup mix. She's
spaghetti.
And it can be the most random day. I wish we had this. I said, hold on, let me go.
Bam.
So out of everything that's organized, it's your gun room and the seasonings.
100%.
There's this one, I think it's Pioneer is the name of the company. That's just, they make those sauce packs, and they make a gravy.
Yep. Pioneer pepper gravy.
They've got a
sausage gravy.
They've got a bacon pepper.
Yep.
Flavor out now. And
that is,
when I cook Alfredo, when I make like chicken Alfredo or something, I'll have my base Alfredo sauce, but I'll add that smoky bacon in with it.
Ooh.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah, the bad thing is I can picture the label. It's that cream label with the blue Pioneer across the front.
Yeah,
the ribbon.
Pioneer. Yeah, but they're famous for the pepper gravy, the white pepper gravy.
Pepper gravy.
But
that's the good stuff.
They have a bacon one out now too. It's hard to get around here, and every time I see it, I'll grab 4 or 5 of them. Not as cheap as your normal. They're like $1.19 or something a pack, but it's well worth it. Well worth it. Those are my hacks.
Oh, smoky bacon.
See?
You can Amazon that.
Oh, you can get it at Amazon? I've never thought about getting it on Amazon.
Holy crap, it's expensive on Amazon.
How much is it on Amazon?
Oh, it's a 12-pack for $13. Yeah, 40. So
yeah.
That's a buck a pack.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I didn't realize they're 12 packs. They sell them in 12 packs. Ooh, this could be interesting.
Hey, you will use all 12 of those packs. Trust me.
Oh yeah, there's my pepper gravy.
I haven't tried the sausage. The sausage the bacon's just the bomb.
You make the sausage. If you're making white gravy, you make one thing of pepper and one thing of sausage. Mix them together. Make a big old thing of biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and.
Dude, and I cheat because my kids love it. I make the sausage, biscuits, and gravy, put the gravy inside ice cube trays. Then I take after they're frozen, I wrap them inside a biscuit, then cook it. So all the gravy's inside the biscuit, and I'll actually take a scrambled. I take egg mix, and I'm cook it in a sheet, so it's like almost like an omelet sheet. Cut them into squares. Put that on there and take the sausage too, ground sausage, make it a little flat and do that. So you have gravy, egg, sausage, and a little slice of cheese. Put all that down and put the ice cube of gravy on top, wrap that biscuit and seal it tight, then cook it. So they have everything. It's a biscuit bomb.
Bomb.
It is all inside there. So they bite in, it's dripping down their face and they're so happy.
You should open up a restaurant, Ton.
I think
call it the biscuit bomb.
The signature biscuit bomb.
Dude, the biscuit bomb is the best. We do it with bacon. We can do it with sausage. I've done it with hash browns.
Oh my gosh. So Prentice, when we go up, we're going to expect some biscuit bombs.
Oh, you got to fight Levi and Cooper.
I'll give him a bloody nose.
Dude, the bad part is he'd love it.
I'll bitch.
Cooper will just tackle you. He's the 90-pound 6-year-old that's built like a linebacker. Levi, he gets medieval. You got to watch him. He'll stab you. Little pickle fork.
Yeah, I mean those biscuits are worth fighting for. So.
Oh yeah, he's tough.
Any more hacks or tips that we can leave with the audience before we pick our winner here for the Whiskey River beef little snack package?
There's a lifetime of hacks.
We'll do another show. If you guys, Leadheads, if you enjoyed this show and you want to hear more cooking hacks and recipes, then email me talkinglet@gmail.com and we'll do another episode. Is that jerky? That beef jerky?
That's the beef jerky.
Yeah, some jerky right there, baby.
Well, actually, that's elk jerky.
And did you jerky that yourself, or did you have
Yes,
a process?
I did. That's I did elk teriyaki and pepper, then Axis teriyaki and pepper.
So talk about, we'll wrap up our recipes and stuff with your recipe on the jerky. So talk about which cut of meat you're using and how you go about the drying process and seasoning process.
I cheated. When I go and take down a deer or elk or red stag, I get ground. And with that ground, because my kid's favorite snack is beef jerky, I will take a jerky gun and take that ground and I marinate it with whatever seasoning I want. Either it's going to be teriyaki or I will mix in black pepper with a little Worcestershire sauce, a little soy sauce for salty.
Hey, do me on your next batch, try that smoky bacon and see if
that's going to be a good one.
Try that.
And then what I'll do is I will actually vacuum seal it and put it in the fridge overnight so the marinade will sit. The vacuum sealer has a marinade feature. It really sucks it in tight so all the flavors penetrated in. Then with the raw meat, you put it into little balls and put it in the jerky gun, and it lays out these nice little strips. Throw it in the dehydrator, depending on the temperature and outside. It could take anywhere from 4 to 8 hours to dehydrate. And it's one of those things, you open it up, check it. If it's dry and flexible, if it's not super spongy, because super spongy is raw, but if you don't want it breaking.
Right.
If you got to the point where the jerky breaks when you bend it, it's overcooked.
Yeah.
You just want it. Yeah. You want it pliable.
Pliability in it.
Yeah. Yep. Just a little bit of flex. And I'll tell you, Mike Cooper, when he goes to school, what do you want for snack today? He wants a bag of beef jerky. So it is amazing. We do it with all the ground wild game meats, and the kids, that's their snack. They love the wild game jerky.
There you go. And I'm like starving right now, so we're going to wrap this up. Prentice and I are going to go get some Whiskey River beef ton.
That's right.
I'm going over to Prentice's house. He's cooking me some ground round. Have some burgers.
Must be nice.
So for all those that participated, thank you so much for your questions, your recipes, your comments. Again, I apologize for not getting it out sooner, but I can only do what I can do. So for those that participated, I think Esom87 gave some great tips and tricks with his ribeye and the prime rib there. So I think we should do Esom87 as the winner of the prize pack.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Are you sure? I like the guy that has that logo that left the question.
He just wanted a shirt. We're not giving away a shirt today, so.
No, stay.
So Esom87, email me, talkingled@gmail.com, and I'll put you in touch with Prentice. And if you guys haven't done so yet, go to whiskeyriverbeef.com, and they have a mailing list, kind of contact us. Is that what it is, the contact us? That eventually they're going to... He's working on getting a newsletter set up to send out each month. So go ahead and sign up there and let him know you heard about him here on the show. And then, of course, go and order some beef from Whiskey River Beef. Tell them what you got available right now, Prentice.
Well, the store is just about fully stocked. We're getting orders in quite frequently, so people are taking as much as they can right now.
First come, first serve.
We're in the process of we'll be filling up our local freezers again within the next 2 weeks, and then again within another probably 2 weeks to 30 days after that. So we're constantly filling up as you guys are constantly ordering stuff from us. So thank you for that. But we're loaded up, and if we run out of something, we'll have some projected dates of when we'll be restocking. So just let us know if you got anything in particular you want or anything in particular you need, and we'll try to fulfill that as well.
Yeah. And are the shirts and the hats available yet, or are you still working on getting that set up?
Should have that available here very soon. We do have a series of hoodies, shirts, lightweight hoodies, heavyweight hoodies, T-shirts, and a series of hats that will be coming out first. So we'll be back and announce that here very soon.
Okay, very good. And in the meantime, you guys want to go ahead and stock up on your beef, use the code TalkingLead10, and you get 10% off your order from Whiskey River Beef? Anything there that they got in stock? And then, do you have like a contact us if you're out of something, and when it's in stock, you can notify them, or how's that work? They just need to keep an eye on your website.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it right now. The store will show that it's sold out if there's anything in particular, and just check back with us about every 7 to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, or just send us a message and say, hey, here's what I was looking for. You guys didn't have enough of. Can I go ahead and just say speak for X? We'll reach out to you. We'll get a pre-order set up, and we'll hold your spot in line if you so desire. So we're glad to do that too.
There you go. And then Ton is getting ready to head out to SHOT Show as we're talking, and you guys hear this. SHOT Show will have already been. Already been. And were we going to make an announcement now, or are we going to do it some other time?
No.
So
let's go ahead and
exclusive here on the Talking Lead podcast. We've kind of been hinting around about it. Firebird has a new toy out. So tell us what we're looking at there, Ton.
This is what we're releasing at SHOT Show. The moderated 50 Firebird target. It has all the flash, all the smoke at around 65 decibels.
Quiet.
We had people asking for a quieter explosion.
What the hell? Talking about a Karen.
Yeah. Well, it's like this. It's the same reason people want suppressors on their rifles. You put all the fancy muzzle brakes and all the fancy gear on there, but there are situations where they want it quieter. And one of the best explanations is there were a group of people at a shooting range bringing new shooters in and trying to do a training class for new shooters. And they said it was very difficult because they were still, a lot of these young shooters and new shooters were still jumpy, getting used to firearms. And they had some targets blowing up and exploding in the background. And a couple of them were like, oh, no, what? It's just sensory overload for that moment, which I get it. And there's wanted something that was quieter for that. Then we also heard back from people that were long range shooters. They don't need something that's loud. They just need the visual effect of, hey, did I hit my target? Because this is just under 2 inches. So it's 1.88. So it's sub MOA at 200 yards. They don't need the sound. They just need the signaling device.
Hold that
so
up to
Firebird.
Do you have a regular size one there too?
I did, but I blew them all up.
Way to go. Way to go. I just want to see how it compared to the other ones, but you're still getting all the flash and the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
You're just not getting the boom, which I don't know about you. I like a boom with my explosion. So,
well, a lot of people love the boom until even out in some rural areas.
No, I get it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
It makes it available to shoot in more areas. Some shooting ranges don't want the loud explosions.
Yeah.
So you still get all the signaling devices. Air gun shooters, a lot of them want moderated. They moderate their guns because you don't have to get a tag stamp for the air gun.
Yeah.
Moderator. So everybody's shooting moderated as it is, another form of suppressed. So they would like a quieter target because you're all sitting down range. So
how's this compared to your normal target? You said that's 60 dBs. What's a normal target?
These are about 60, on average, about 65 dB at 25 feet. The standard Firebird target is upwards of 120 plus at 25 feet.
Okay. So about half.
Yeah. Less than half.
Yeah.
Because our sound meters stop at a certain level for safety, so it doesn't blow the inside diaphragm. So we actually get a shut off when anything goes above 120 dB.
That's what Prentice's girlfriend was worried about.
Yeah.
Blowing the diaphragm.
Yeah. So we designed the moderated 50, and we did some independent testing, and it's actually gone insane. And we will be debuting this. Actually, it debuted here. No one else knows.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
We will be taking it to SHOT Show. It'll be in the new product display at SHOT Show. And I designed a display specifically for SHOT Show. You get to see it here.
Whoa.
So for our video audience, here we go. For a softer, is that supposed to be a video playing?
No, it's just a still photo. It's for a softer bang.
Softer bang.
That will be on display at the new product display case at SHOT Show.
There you go. So am I allowed to release this on Wednesday?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So as you guys are hearing this, SHOT Show, this will be the second day of SHOT Show. So go to Firebird Target's Instagrams, and I'm sending Evan. I'm not going to SHOT Show this year. Evan's going. Bildo's going to be there representing Talking Lead. So we'll have Evan go by, talk to Ton, and see if he can't do a video or maybe a live. Live sucks there, but so be watching our social medias, be watching Firebird Targets, be watching Ton's social media. And see all the SHOT Show coverage. So we're still going to be covering. I'm just not going to be there covering it. So, and I'm not mad about that
jealous.
Either, so
I'm a little jealous.
So are you going to Range Day? Will you be at Range Day also?
No.
Oh my gosh, you should.
I'm going to be comfortable. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be.
Do they allow those at that range, explosions and shit? They do, don't they?
No, because another company that's not even a competitor, but another company that makes a mixing compounded reactive target set fire to the range because they were being a bunch of jackwagons.
How do you set fire to a desert?
When you set a reactive target on the ground and activate it and don't make sure you have a clear target area and you catch the brush on fire and it burns out of control and shuts down media day.
I must not have been there for that one. I don't remember that one.
Yep. Yep. When stupid people do stupid things.
But there's nothing out there to burn. It's just dirt and sand. I mean, there's a couple of little tumbleweeds here and there, but
it is actually a quite complex ecosystem of wildlife.
Well, that too, yeah. Oh, man.
And if you burn someone else's property, it's always a bad thing.
Well, I hope you don't get the crud. You've been sick. You're a little sick right now, so maybe you've built your immune system enough with that you're not going to get the SHOT Show crud.
I got IV fluids yesterday. I called one of the mobile IV people, and I am actually feeling 100% better. I still have a sinus thing going on, but it's leaps and bounds better than 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And got a day or so left before I depart. I am actually pretty good.
Somebody else I saw a video they did on Instagram. They were getting an IV preparing for SHOT Show. He says he does it every year and he never gets the crud. Ron with what's the grip things that go on the side, that company?
Which Ron?
Oh, Riker USA.
Oh,
yeah, Riker.
Okay. Yeah.
Ron with Riker. Yeah. Good dude. Super good dude.
Yep. I get the Super Myers IV pack and a vitamin D shot.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
There's your last recipe of the day. A Myers IV shot with vitamin D. There's your life hack right there, Leadhead. So until the next episode, again, be watching our social medias for the SHOT Show coverage. I've got some things scheduled with companies after SHOT to come on and talk about some of the new releases. We've had a couple of companies like Firebird Targets that are letting you guys know prior to SHOT Show some of their new stuff. Keltec talked about their new Gen 3 Sub 2K. We had that episode with, and Hammer was supposed to have been on with us today. He was the big sous vide chef that I was talking about when we were at IVA.
Where are you? I don't see you. Hello.
Yeah, you got to remind me. You got to remind me to switch my things now.
Yeah.
So I'm right here. We were just looking at your big, beautiful face, Ton.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of sexy for that long.
But go follow us on social medias. Subscribe as you're listening to this. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because there's like 80% of you guys aren't subscribed. You listen, but you aren't subscribed. It helps us with the algorithms. If you subscribe to the podcast, you go and follow us on the Instagrams, the social medias. Follow Ton. Ton is Ton Jones Official. Whiskey River Beef is Whiskey River Life, at Whiskey River Life. And then, of course, we're at Talking Lead. Share our posts, like our posts to help us get through the blacklisting that they do, shadow banning that they do of us there. The more you like, the more you share, the more you comment, it helps us out. So we greatly appreciate all you lead heads with your participation. And we're going to continue to reward you with giveaways throughout the year from Whiskey River Beef, from Firebird Targets, from Pioneer Arms Corps, our newest sponsor of the Talking Lead AK Corner. We're going to be giving away at least four firearms this year on the AK Corner. One of those is going to be a PM63, the hard-to-get PM63, and they're all going to be custom-made firearms, whether it's an AK, maybe a PPS 43.
You better not shadow ban my questions.
No.
Everyone will be eligible, but you're going to have to work for these gun giveaways. They're not going to be just make a comment of how did you start your company kind of shit. You know, that's not going to fly. There's going to be actual participation. You're going to have to post pictures, videos. You're going to have to go like and subscribe and all that, and we're going to verify that. So next episode of the AK Corner, we're going to give you details. So February's episode, we'll give you details on how to get eligible for those. And, of course, we're going to be giving away stuff every episode of the AK Corner. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a big season for us. It's going to be a big season for you lead heads. And, again, you just got to watch, you participate, you listen, and that's how you win here on the Talking Lead Podcast. So until the next episode, lead heads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer.
Yeah.